Have you ever wondered what happens after you get everything you've ever wanted? What if reaching the top of the mountain just feels empty? Today, we're diving into a really powerful conversation with Tony Robbins that tackles this exact problem, the achiever's dilemma. Let's get right into it. So you hear that, right? That's from Alex Hormozy, a guy who is wildly successful by any measure. He read all the books, did all the things, and realized his own sense of well-being hadn't moved an inch. It's a pretty shocking thing to say, and it really gets to the core of what we're talking about today. It's a huge paradox, isn't it? You win the game, but you don't actually feel like a winner. You climb to the summit and find out there's nothing there for you. So how does this even happen? Well, let's break down Tony Robbins' diagnosis of this problem because it's fascinating. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle, according to Robbins, has nothing to do with your accomplishments or your bank account. Nope. It's all about the words you're using, day in and day out. Now, this is such a powerful idea, and it might seem a little backwards at first. Robbins is basically arguing that your vocabulary isn't just describing your reality, it's literally creating your emotional world. The words you pick can actually change your body's chemistry. And here's where you can really see that in action. So many achievers live in the world on the left, right? Words like duty, obligation, it's all a grind. But Robbins says if you can reframe your work as an opportunity to feel the joy of contribution, you completely change the game. You're rewiring your brain to move away from suffering and towards empowerment. So, if your language is part one of the equation, the next big piece is understanding what's really driving you forward. What's the actual engine behind all that ambition? A lot of high achievers, Hormozy included, start right here. They're running on pure push motivation, just raw willpower, discipline, and grit. And look, it works. It's super effective for getting stuff done. But, and this is a big but, that kind of energy has a limit. It's finite. And when you run out, that's when you hit burnout hard. But then you've got the alternative, pull motivation. This is totally different. This isn't about you forcing yourself to do something. It's about being pulled toward a mission, something bigger than just you. And this is the secret to sustainable energy. It doesn't feel like a grind at all. It feels like what you were born to do. That well of energy, it's pretty much bottomless. This just lays out the difference so clearly. Push is you using up your limited battery supply. Pull is being plugged into an infinite power source. One road leads to burnout. The other leads to a lifetime of fulfillment. Okay, so what if you're listening to this and thinking, yep, that's me. I've been running on push and a vocabulary of duty for years. How do you make the shift? How do you find real fulfillment, especially when you've already won the game of success? To explain this, Robbins uses this amazing analogy he calls the astronaut problem. I mean, think about it. These guys achieved one of the most incredible goals in human history. They walked on the freaking moon. But then what? What do you do for an encore? The encore is the whole problem. Once that single, all-consuming mission was over, their purpose was just gone. And when the purpose disappeared, so did their fulfillment. Robbins points out that, tragically, a lot of them really struggled, falling into addiction and depression. And this, right here, is the absolute key. Achievement is a science. There are rules, patterns, and strategies you can learn and master, and a lot of people get really, really good at it. But fulfillment, that's an art. It's personal, it's messy, and it's a completely separate skill that you have to practice and cultivate. So let's move on to the prescription. If fulfillment is an art, how do you actually become an artist? What are the steps? Robbins himself found his next chapter by setting what he calls a contribution moonshot. He didn't just decide to give back a little, he decided he was going to feed 1 billion people. It was this crazy, unreasonable goal that totally relit his fire with a completely new kind of purpose-driven energy. And this gives us a real formula we can use. See, it's not just about giving. It's about finding a cause you feel in your bones, something you're emotionally wired into. Then you set a goal so huge it scares you and excites you. And then, this is crucial, you get involved. You don't just write a check. You get emotionally connected to the outcome. This is what Robbins said directly to Hormozy. And really, it's the challenge for every high achiever out there. The new goal isn't just to win anymore. The goal is to find that new obsession, that thing that makes you feel totally and completely alive again. To make this super practical, Robbins had Alex actually name the two different parts of himself. You've got analytical Alex, who lives in the head. He's the strategist, the one who analyzes and survives. But then there's anabolic Alex. He lives in the heart. He's the one who feels joy, who magnifies good experiences, and who truly thrives. The secret is knowing they both exist and consciously choosing who gets to be in the driver's seat. And that's really what it all comes down to, for you, for me, for everyone. If you've figured out the science of achievement, and maybe you have, the next, more important question is this. What's the art you're going to create? What is your moonshot for a life that isn't just successful, but is deeply, truly, and authentically fulfilled?